I speak from the streets of Kampala, the voices of Gulu City, and the rising tensions in Bale. Across these cities, something is happening that we cannot ignore. Small businesses, kiosks, roadside stalls, tiny shops are being destroyed. They call it trade order. But I ask, is this order guided by law, or is it driven by force? In the streets, it is hard to miss the signs. Piles of iron sheets and timber, scattered goods, traders standing hopelessly as graders and axes reduce their livelihoods to dust. It is fast, it is ruthless, and often it is sudden without caring about the tears of the mothers.
Gikomba market. So sad.
The government justification, authorities, especially bodies like Kampala Capital City Authority, claim that this is necessary. They say cities need planning, roadside must be clear, drainage must work, streets must not be congested. No one disagrees that urban management is essential. A chaotic city cannot thrive, and yes, roadside businesses can sometimes block drainage, disrupt traffic, and even pose safety risk. But here is the question. Does order justify destruction without warning? Because what we are seeing is not just planning, it is force, sudden, abrupt, disrespectful of human life and law.
The mayor, how can a town clerk be more powerful than the mayor? The mayor is the controller. So wait until May, when the new council comes in, harass the people of Moroto the way you want.
This is a reputation.
We can't accept. We have lived for 4 years, 5 years, fighting for peace in this town. People have shed blood here in this town. We have, how many people have we lost in this town? The Karachulas have joined the money economy in this town. You come and destroy PDM and Bioga. So I have said, suspend the operation. Should anybody go to my people, I want to tell my people of Moroto, be ready to fight. Wow. Yes.
Let us look at the law. The Physical Planning Act 2010 is the backbone of enforcement in Uganda, and it is very clear about the steps authorities must take. From the Act, an enforcement notice shall be served on the owner or occupier or developer. Notice is the first step. It is not option. It is not a suggestion. The law requires that authorities identify the person responsible and inform them directly. The Act continues, where within the period specified in the enforcement notice, measures are not taken, the authority may enter upon the land. Notice first, time given. Enforcement only if no action is taken. That is the sequence the law demands.
Hours from today to tomorrow.
So they informed you today's morning about this operation.
Yeah.
And they have already come this evening to dismantle everything.
Yeah, to dismantle.
Here is where the reality on the ground often fails. A radio announcement, a TV warning, a general notice to the public, none of these count as proper service. The law does not speak to crowds. It speaks to individuals. Served on the owner, occupier or developer. Proper notice is direct. It is personal. It tells someone exactly which structure is targeted, when it must be removed, what will happen if they fail to comply. Anything less than this, broadcast warnings, public notices, does not satisfy the law. Beyond statutes like the Physical Planning Act, the Constitution protects citizens in a more fundamental way. Article 26 states, no person shall be compulsorily deprived of property except in accordance with the law. This is the voice of fairness. It does not allow immediate demolition. Regardless of how illegal a structure may be, the Constitution emphasizes process, not just the outcome. And the Land Evictions Practice Directions 2021 reinforce this. Every eviction or demolition shall be proceeded by a valid court order and adequate notice. Notice and process are not technicalities. They are essential safeguards. Yet what do we see in Kampala, Gulu City, and Baruli and elsewhere? No notice, no time to act, sudden arrival of graders and enforcement teams, notice in short time. In such cases, the law is not being enforced, it is being ignored. And this is where the line between urban order and abuse of power becomes dangerously thin. Step away from the law for a moment. Consider the people. This is not about multinational corporations. This is not about luxury property. This is about ordinary Ugandans. A mother selling vegetables are down to feed her children. A young man repairing phones to pay tuition. A family whose kiosk is their only source of income. For these people, the so-called illegal structure is not a mere building, it is survival. And when that survival is destroyed overnight, the consequences are real: hunger, lost school fees, debt, and humiliation. Here is where we must consider economics. Why force citizens to comply with regulations their wallets cannot afford? Why destroy structures that provide livelihoods for the poorest instead of finding affordable, realistic solutions? History reminds us that cities grow from humble beginnings. Take London, for example. London became a city when it was full of grass-thatched houses, homes that were far from perfect, far from grand. It was a city built gradually over time by people who worked, traded, and survived often in imperfect conditions. Our own cities cannot leap from chaos to perfection overnight. We cannot force wealth where there is poverty. We cannot destroy economies under the guise of order and expect growth to follow. Economic planning must account for what citizens can actually sustain. Otherwise, we risk killing the very economy we claim to protect. Every kiosk destroyed, every stall demolished is not just a loss of property. It is a loss of economic activity, opportunity, and future tax revenue for the government itself. We all want cities that are organized, clean, and safe. Authorities have a duty, but here is the tension. Can enforcement of law ignore fairness, humanity, and economics? Law without fairness, notice without time, destruction without process, all of these violate the very principles the law exists to protect. True order is not just about neat streets. True order is about justice. It is about ensuring that even when the government acts, citizens are treated fairly. law provides remedies. Yes, citizens can take the government to court. Judicial review allows citizens to challenge illegal decision-making, excessive use of force, lack of notice, limited time notice. Civil suits allow compensation for lost businesses, destroyed property, emotional distress. Constitutional petitions protect rights when basic fairness is violated. Courts ask, was notice given? Was time allowed to comply? Meaningful time. Was the force proportionate? If the answer is no, the government can lose, and the law may avoid compensation or declare the demolition illegal.
Has started. Hakuna mchezo. Moroto has started. Yes, Moroto has started. Moroto has started. Look at what the grader is doing right now. Moroto has started. Moroto has started. No jokes, no jokes. You can see what is happening in Moroto right now. No jokes. Hey. This is opposite Leslona. Hey. No jokes, no jokes, no jokes, no jokes. You can see what is happening in Moroto right now. Hey.
So as demolitions continue, the real question is not only was the structure legal, but was the process lawful? Was the economic impact considered? Because the law prioritizes process. The Constitution protects individuals. The court provides remedies when process fails. And yet the people often bear the cost before justice can intervene.
Naye ani yakoze ekintu kino kubanga n'okumumanya kikulu the first point bw'aba tamanyise kale amagezi abapoliisi weebali.
In the end, a nation is judged not only by how well it builds its cities, but also by how faithfully it follows its laws. Order without justice is tyranny. Enforcement without humanity is cruelty. Enforcement without economic sense is short-sighted governance. True governance does not destroy livelihoods overnight. True enforcement allows dialogue, notice, opportunity to comply, and realistic economic planning. True law respects the citizen as much as the city. So when you walk the streets of Kampala, Gulu City, or Mbale, remember, trade order must never become a trade of lives. Law must always speak louder than force. Economic realities must guide enforcement, and justice must always lead